also announce it that we have started. And yes. Okay. Close this. By the way, should I send you my Twitch link, or is it okay if I will read out loud the questions for you at the end of the interview when people will ask some questions?
You can read them out loud, but I can already start Twitch.
Oh, okay. You have my link, right? You have my link, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I already
Okay.
went to
Just don't forget to mute it, so there is no echo because of the stream. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us know if the video and audio quality is good on my end, and then we will actually start. Let me also take a look on that if everything is working correctly. But if I can see it's working correctly, okay. I always check it because at the very first episodes I had some like lag issue with OBS, and then I figured it out. I had to change the coding for NVIDIA cards. So, okay, let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if we can start. Let us know.
Can we start?
Let us know. We had to postpone from yesterday because of the drilling, but finally we are here, and hopefully there will be no sounds on my end. Again,
at the moment, at least it's very good.
Yeah.
No drilling at all.
It was crazy. It was crazy. The walls were like shaking, and I was like, what the hell?
Ouch.
These people again. Hölgyek, urak, kezdhetünk. And yeah, like I'm always saying, everyone, at the ending of the interview, we will be able to ask questions, so feel free to do that as well. Let us know. Don't be just lurking out there. I know it's we can start. Okay, other people will join later, hopefully. Okay, Pablo, are you down to start? Let me know.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. So everyone, welcome in the very new episode of my Dev Live show. I'm here today joined with Pablo, and I'm very thankful and very honored that he joined us for today's episode. And like I'm always saying, let's start with a little bit of introduction. So please introduce yourself for us.
Sure, but first, thank you so much for inviting me to this stream, this interview. It's really amazing to be here. Very happy to be here to get to know you and to talk about my project. It's really great. So about myself, so I'm Pablo Coma. I'm the founder of Roblo Games. And basically, can I go in depth, or do you want
Sure. Do that. Sure. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, let's go directly. So basically, I have a formation of graphical artist.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I studied graphical arts at school.
Okay.
And after that, I've been hired in the Smurfs studio. So you know the Smurfs, the little blue creators.
Yeah.
So I worked in their studio for like 14 years, so a lot of time. And towards the end of when I was there, around 2012, I started to work on video games, starring the Smurfs. So I supervised the Smurfs games which were done outside. So for example, for Ubisoft, we did like the Smurfs 3DS game and a few other games.
I see.
And I was also developing the HTML5 games of the Smurfs.
Okay.
So that I was doing mainly myself alone, and also with the 3D team for when we did 3D games. But they were quite small games. And while doing that, I developed a game called The Healer's Quest, which I started to develop in 2014. And it took me 4 years to do it after hours. So it was not my main job at the moment. So only after the work, it took 4 years to make it. And it released on Steam in 2018.
Okay.
And and that was not a huge success, but it was still quite a success. At least it wasn't a flop, we say in French. It wasn't extremely bad. So thanks to that, I was able to take part-time at my day job at the Smurf studio. But that didn't take last long, because 6 months after that, I've been hired as a game designer at Apple Studio. It's a bigger studio here in Belgium, which was a great opportunity because before that I was only developing my games alone, and then suddenly I broke into the industry and was able to work with a bigger team. But when I started at Apple Studio, there was like 10, 12, maybe 15% in the studio, so it was still kind of small, and we worked on a kind of small project like Fort Boyard. Probably you don't know it, but it's a French franchise that we worked on with Microids.
I see.
And other smaller projects for Microids we did also there. And after 1 year, I became game director at Apple Studio. So that was really a great a chance for me to be at this job. And also the team started to grow because on the side of the smaller project, we also worked on Outcast: A New Beginning, which is the bigger project we work on.
Okay.
I don't know if you know it, but it's
I know that game. Yeah, nice.
Okay. So it was really great to work on that. It's a very long project that took us 5 years to complete. It was amazing, and I learned a lot of things to manage a team, but also how to work with a publisher, and basically a lot of things. And the game here, Outcast: A New Beginning, released in March 2024. Really, it was really recent. And
I
while
have the
I was
collector's edition of that game too, by the way.
Me too.
I love that game.
With the small statue
Yeah,
of the side.
exactly.
Yeah, it's the collector is really nice actually, but the game didn't. I think the game didn't work so well. But
I love the game. I love the game. It really recalled the first episode's vibe, in my opinion.
You played the first episode.
Yeah, I did, and I also did play the remaster or remake version of the first episode. I'm always like forgetting if it was a remake or remaster. Yeah.
There is the two actually. They first did a remaster.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
And then I think it's in 18, the same year as I released Dealer's Quest, they did Outcast: Second Contact.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a complete remake of the game. Yeah. So there is both a remaster and then a remake.
True. Yeah.
And then the sequel. No. Yeah. So and what I wanted to add is, as soon as I released Dealer's Quest in 18, while I was still working in the Smurf studio, I already started Necro Story that will release very soon.
Oh, okay.
And I immediately started it. So in April 18, and I continued to develop it afterwards. All the time I've been working at Apple Studio. So right now it's been 6 years that. Even 6 years and a half that I'm working on this game. So really happy that it comes out next week, actually. It's a very long project. And so I started to develop Necro Story alone. And when I was hired at Apple Studio for the first year, I continued to do it alone in Construct 3, which is the game engine I was using also for Dealer's Quest, though it was Construct 2, but I used the next iteration of it. But my job took me a lot of time. I was back to working full time instead of half time, thanks of Dealer's Quest. So I discussed with one of my colleagues, Baptiste, at Apple Studio, and we decided to do the project together. So now for 4 years and a half, we have rebooted the project in Unity, and he's doing all the programming parts, and I'm doing everything else.
I see.
So that's how we worked on this. And so Outcast released in March, and since April, I'm working full time now for Rablo Games. And Baptiste is already working full time from last year, so a bit longer than me. And that's where we stand. Basically, so as a conclusion to my presentation, let's say I'm an indie game developer that turned game director and then back to indie game developer. It's a bit of weird.
No, I love your story. I love your story.
There, but
it's like a roller coaster ride, right? So
like
you're always back to indie.
Yeah, I was working alone, and then small team, then big team, and now we are 2 and now 3. So because I'm also working with an illustrator for my next game that will come after Necrostory.
Oh, okay.
So now we are 3 people in Rablo Games.
I see. I see. Okay, so before we go way deeper in the story of yours, how and what projects did you work on? So, what was your very first contact as a player with video games? So, not as a developer, but as a player, if you remember that.
Of course, I remember that. So I have a brother 7 years older than me. So my first experience should have been around 86, and
Okay.
it was on the Spectrum.
Okay.
He had a ZX Spectrum, I think it's called. And yeah, it's really old, but I remember a few games with Castle that we had to explore, and it was already, at least in my memory, it was extremely cool. But I didn't play Spectrum for 35 years now, so maybe it's not exactly like I remember it.
I see.
But I think that was my very first experience, though I didn't play a lot on it because I was really young at that time.
I see.
But a bit later, like 2, 3 years later, my mother purchased a PC, and that was an XT PC. So it was also in 86, I think. And so we had the CGA graphic cards, if you know what this is. So only 4 colors
Yeah.
with flashy purple, flashy cyan.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
The real
But
old school games and
yeah,
computers.
I had really a great amount of time on games on this PC. I even purchased some game when I was a bit older, like when I was 10. Where Dreams, for example, Fiat Freddy's, Rocket Ranger, maybe those names ring a bell to some people. Those are really old games from the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s. I think it's even 8 of the 80s. So yeah, for me, retro gaming is really this. That's my main souvenir of old video games. Is the CGA on PC more than on consoles, because we didn't really had consoles before the Super Nintendo in '92. But I was already playing for a few years before that, and so when we finally had the Super Nintendo, it was really wow, something completely different. I
Yeah,
passed
new
from
experience.
extremely crappy, but they're not crappy, they're just very old, but very simple games to much more advanced stuff. Like Street Fighter 2, and this was a complete new world opening to me with Super Nintendo.
I see. Do you think like you always had this, mind for making games, even from your younger age?
I started to want to make games when I was about 13,
Okay.
I say. And actually, I started to learn programming with my brother.
Okay.
And the very first game I did was already a role-playing game.
Oh,
It
nice.
was
Okay.
only it was only with text. I was 13 when I did this. Before 13, I don't remember, but I don't think I wanted to make games
Do
because
you
it
have that
wasn't.
project somewhere, by the way?
No, no,
Oh,
no, 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 nowhere. But it's not a big loss.
I see.
So yeah, before that, I don't think I wanted to make games, but this
Okay.
first game was in BASIC. It was only text and with crappy code, and you wandered into a forest and you had to fight enemies, and but all by text. But it was already something. I think that's the first my first contact with video game development.
I see.
And after that, for the rest of my teenager time, I made plenty of game projects with friends, really a lot of them. And none of them was finished, of course.
But why?
So, but
But
that was
why?
in the 90s. So, mostly because we were just teenagers and we had no idea how to code a game.
I see.
Also, by that time, it was really hard to code a game, much more difficult than it is now, because you really had to learn to code with a line of code of text,
True.
and
True.
that's it.
True.
There was no game engine, of course, not to my knowledge, at least. Yeah, it was the beginning of the 90s. So yeah, the first project after this one that we tried to make was a platformer. but I was creating it with a friend which, which is also a graphical artist, because at that time I already started to make 3D graphics, because I wanted to work in games already at that time. Um, but we had no programmer, so of course there was just animations and graphics, but nothing else. So that project never quit the shoebox in which we make the game design and the graphics we did. And then we met someone at my friend's Guillaume, let's call him, at Guillaume's school, who actually was a very talented programmer. And with that guy, we started to make new games. We wanted to make new games, and there we had a few prototypes that were actually working, but sadly we didn't push them to the end.
I
But
see.
I remember at least 3 projects that we started together with those 2 friends, which are basically even now my best friends. So it was really it's really fun how making games drove really my teenager time. By that time,
Do
yeah,
they
during all that
also
time I
make
wanted to
games,
make
by the
games.
way? Do they also make still games?
So the programmer one, Michel, not at all.
Okay,
But he did programming studies, but he's not working in games.
I see. I see.
And the funny thing is, Guillaume is actually working in games. Um, I think I can, yeah, maybe I don't cite the project he worked on because maybe he want to stay anonymous. I don't know, but yeah, he's a narrative designer and he has occupied also a producer position.
Oh,
So
nice.
he's also working in games.
Nice. That's lovely that
That
he never
yeah,
left the dreams
yeah,
of being a kid and making games. Nice, nice. Love that.
yeah.
Love that. Love that. And how do you feel that were your like parents? So you were talking about your close friends were supportive about this decision
Mhm.
and dream of yours too, that you wanted to make games. But how about your family? How do you feel that were your family supportive about this decision, that you have this passion for making video games, not just playing them?
Yeah, my parents really didn't encourage me so much, but
Okay.
they didn't refrain me to do it yet
Okay.
either. So it was a bit neutral from my parents' perspective. My friends was always very my brother, sorry, was very encouraging. Um, and yeah, because it's only like when I was 16 that I really wanted to make this professionally, because before that I was just at high school. And then when I started to when I needed to pick high school, we call that, when I was 18, at that time, yeah, they started to a bit a bit have doubts. I remember my aunt telling me one day, "We don't want to become some sort of artist," so they still wanted me to make some high school studies, of course, because that was really important in the family. But they so yeah, but I was still allowed to do the graphical arts
I
high
see.
school
I
that I
see.
wanted to do, and this is amazing. I wasn't able to go to a very well-known school in France because that was a bit expensive, but still it was a school that prepared to graphical arts, not video games but graphical arts, and from there I hope that somehow I could make a way into the video game industry. And it took a lot of time, but finally it happened.
Was it scary, by the way, to take the first steps after high school to really realize that you can make it into the video game industry?
Um, Actually, after high school, I had quite a lot of trouble to find a job and a job in the
Okay.
industry. So after the high school, I was 23. I first worked in a sports
Oh, okay.
sports store for like 1 year
Okay, that's totally
because
different.
yeah, and one day I received a call from someone from an interim. I don't know if that's a word in English. Interim? No, maybe
uh,
not. So that's basically an agency that you give your
PR
CV
maybe.
to, and they try to uh, dispatch it and connect you with people searching work.
Okay. Okay.
But that generally only for very limited time.
I see.
So you have a work for like 1 week or 1 month at
I
maximum.
see. I see. I see. I see.
And And I received a call from the Smurf studio asking me if I was available to start very soon, actually. So I did there, passed a small test, and I was hired. First, like it's a kind of internship, if you want, but not
I
really
see.
for students, but this kind of stuff. So I was hired like this for 6 months, and then got the contract. But that wasn't games. And at that point, to be honest, I a bit gave up about hoping to get into the industry because my high school studies weren't really into video games, and it was very hard. At that time, we were at the beginning of 2000 years. It was quite hard to break into the industry at that moment. Uh, Indie games weren't a thing at all at this moment,
True,
so it
true, true.
didn't exist.
Yeah.
We started to talk about the indie scene about in 2028, something like that. So by that time, you had to enter a studio. So I was already really happy to join the Smurf studio because I loved comic books also when I was younger, and I read all the Smurfs comics for tons of time each. So I still had some really interest in the Smurfs universe and in Payos universe, and I was really happy to enter them there, even if it wasn't really creative.
I see.
And at least at start, it was quite. Yeah, I do some coloring for comics and this kind of things. I do yes, scanning and working on the pictures. I wasn't drawing. I am not such a good drawer, sadly. But yeah, I was doing quite varied graphical tasks, and that was really really good. But it went better after a few years when I started to work in video games inside the Smurf studio.
I see. I see. And what really kept you being motivated throughout those times when you like started to lose hope of yours? What your time was?
Um, Actually, at that time we were still making video games project with my two friends. The
Okay.
last one, I think it was in 2004.
Okay.
Um, so so yeah, we still had some side projects between at that time, and also that's very important, and I have to talk about that. Around 27, so 3 years after I started to work at the Smart Studio, I become really passionate about music creation,
Okay.
and for like 4 or 5 years, music was really my life, literally. Only yeah, that was my nearly sole activity was composing music. So I took a lot of piano course, composition course. I finished my music theory classes that I started when I was young. And really, I passed days and nights sometimes composing music. And my goal at that moment was to become a composer,
I see.
uh, either just for music, songwriter, or for the film industry, or maybe even for the video games industry. But that wasn't even exactly the plan at that moment.
I see.
And what's funny, the way it turned out is actually very funny. So I have to talk about that. Because yeah, so I started in 2007 to really care about music, and in 2012 I really wanted to make it a professional activity.
Okay.
But at that moment I was just studying afterwards, and I really wanted to enter the conservatory. I don't know if it's the word in English, so it's sort of
I
music
think
high school.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Think of it like a music high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my composition teacher told me it will be very easy for you to pass because there is an exam at the to start those music classes. You have to pass an exam which is not easy. But he told me, yeah, you can do it. Don't worry, it's easy for you. So I tried it because I literally wanted to take a part time at my day job and do half time doing those composition classes. at the high school. But sadly, I completely screw up the examination, the entrance
But
examination.
why?
But uh, because maybe yeah, it was at the Brussels Conservatory, and the exam was really, in my opinion, at least for me, it was really hard
I
because I'm
see.
used to compose in front of a computer, and there I had sheets of paper, a pen, and also I had a piano. Okay, I'm not that bad at piano, but not good enough
I
to
see.
really improvise and write amazing thing in a very limited time.
I see. I see. I see.
So, and one of the exercises I remember was an orchestral sheet,
Okay.
and you had to compose to fill up some parts, some instruments that were
I
missing in
see.
the
I see.
orchestral
I see.
sheet.
I see. I see. I see.
So that's not at all the kind of thing I was used to do, and yeah, I screwed up miserably. And after that, it was really like a big fall for me because that was my plan for 4 years, you know, to try to become a composer. And I told myself, okay, so I screw up. Maybe I'm not that much made for making music because if after all what I worked, I ain't able to start to even enter in that school. Maybe it's not a good plan to do it as my job. So what I did is I said myself, okay, if I can't do the music for the others, I will make games and I will make my own music for my own games. That's literally what I wanted to do. And at that moment, and like 1 week after failing the examination, I started to work on a game project that I had an idea for a few weeks before. It was in September 2012. And I started to work on the graphics of a project that was called Lost Spirits of Kael.
Okay.
If you search it on internet, there is still the trailer that I made for this project that I published in 2013. It's still on YouTube, and but the game of course didn't release. But it was a great first experience because that gave me really the motivation. Okay, man, now I want to make games, and at that moment, I wanted the initial idea was to make games for making the music of my games. But I was trained in graphical arts, so I was already able to draw. I had animation because actually I say graphical arts, but it's more like animation
I see.
that I did at high school. So I had knowledge in music, in graphical arts, in animation. The only part missing was programming. So what I did is I started to do the graphics of this game and try to find a programmer online, which I managed to do a first time. So I started working with someone. We worked together for like 6 months, but I never saw anything from him. So it was literally like I was working alone. Not a single line of code, and nothing was moving. Never. I never see anything move. So at one point, I had to say, "Okay, let's stop it," and I started to try to find another programmer. And what I did by then is make a fake trailer. So I gathered all the graphical assets I had made during those 6 months, and I animated everything inside Adobe After Effects.
I see.
So if you look for Lost Spirits of Kael on YouTube, you can see a trailer and there is no programming on it. It's only After Effects.
You should send me the trailer. I will
And
look at it.
yeah, you can have a look afterward. And thanks to that, I find another guy who seemed really yeah, to know what he was doing. He was using Unity, and we worked together for like 2 years. Um, so it was a daily conversation. Really, we were working together like every evening. So a lot of work still. And this time it started to work, let's say. So the character was kind of moving. We could go from one point to the other one, but it was still really bare bones and not very developed. And after 2 years, we tried to enter a contest, a video game contest, in the Monaco contest, trying to get some funding, and we didn't even get shortlist. Maybe because the game wasn't really working at that moment, and that is what basically started the big loss of motivation on this project. And like 4 or 5 months later, we stopped it and we dropped the project. And immediately after that, even slightly before dropping the project, when I felt like, okay, it won't go anywhere, that's the moment where I started to learn Construct 2, which is a game engine basically done for non-programmers like me. And that was really, really interesting, because that's also the moment where at work at the Smurf studio, we started to make HTML5 games with the Smurfs. And yes, so I was learning Construct 2 for the work because we needed HTML5 games, and that's what I suggested to use to make those games, and it was accepted. And also I was learning it at home because I was doing Healer's Quest
So it was
after.
like a
So
win-win situation for you.
yeah. So I really had the opportunity to learn the game engine at work for my own project, and vice versa. So it was really, like you said,
You
a
never
win-win
stopped
situation.
learning it. Like you went
Yeah,
home
yeah.
learning it, went to your job learning it.
The big thing is that at that moment, I remember it was the 25th July 2014, when I started. I had the idea for Healer's Quest, and the evening I started to prototype the game. And this evening, after like a few hours of development, it was already playable. And that meant a lot to me, because I passed years working with people without seeing anything, anything moving up. And I was doing plenty of graphics ready for Lost Spirits of KL. I have gigabytes of graphics ready. And
Would you like to go back to that game as well, by the way?
no, because I don't think it will be relevant in 10 years later. It won't be so relevant, I think.
I see.
The industry has changed too much, and the graphics I did for this are not what I wanted to make now. So not really. Even though I think the game may be interesting, so maybe I'll change my mind and do it still one day, but it's not the plan. But yeah, what was I saying? Basically, so from that moment, when I started to make Healer's Quest, I really get the feeling that, okay, now I have everything in my hands, and it doesn't depend upon someone else to manage to do something. I want to do it myself. And really, it was both frightening and reassuring for me to say, okay, I'm not really sure, because I wasn't really great programmer, of course. By that time I was a beginner, but the game engine was simple to use. And also I get the feeling that it only depends on my motivation to manage to do something.
I see.
And that was a big thing, that day after day I saw the game grow up and become more and more alive when I was working on it. So it was really a great motivation for me. And I think like for 6 months, I did nothing else in my spare time than working on this game. That's why also it was quite fast actually to make, because I think 4 years afterwards for making Healer's Quest alone, I think it's not that much. So I think I was quite quick to make it.
True. Yeah, it's interesting that hearing your story really shows that sometimes it's so hard to work with other people, especially if you have a very strict and good vision of yours that you would like to see come alive, and yeah, people can mess up
But
the
I
work
think
for you.
yeah, I think it's great to work with people because
No, it
no,
is.
of
It
course,
is. I'm just saying that there are these
yeah, yeah.
examples when you like end up being, sad and unmotivated
Yeah,
because of
and
those
actually, the
situations.
thing is, maybe I wasn't lucky. I wasn't lucky somewhere, but every
Do
time
you
a
feel like
project
it
seemed,
was being unlucky? Do you believe in that? Like, do you
mm,
believe in this meant to
in
be
the
a
big
thing
picture,
in the
no.
words? Okay.
In the big picture, no. But for some of the projects we try, I mean, we try to do. Um, I felt like it could have led to something, but it didn't. For example, we had one project where everything was doing great. We were doing that with the two friends I talked to you earlier, Guillaume and Michel. And yeah, we worked for like 6 months and we had a prototype. It was for a Game Boy Advance game this time. So we purchased the Game Boy Advance development, a flash card. So we were actually, that's Pichu, my dog. Hello, Pichu.
Very cute.
No, 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 no. Pichu, I'm talking. We, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
we,
It's okay.
we purchased the flash card. So we were actually we had a prototype working on the Game Boy Advance. So that was very motivating. But a few months in, the programmer girlfriend fell pregnant,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's just how it ended.
Always the programmers in
Yeah.
your life.
From
Always.
day, so guys, I have to tell you
It's
something.
really
I have
unlucky.
to,
I can see that now.
and okay, we were there. Okay, it's the right decision for you, so we won't say anything because we're your friends, and of course we understand, and of course you have to take your responsibility now. But on our side, it was a bit
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Again, it's
That's life.
happened. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, if you work with people, just make sure they're as motivated as you are, and they will always go forward with the project.
It's hard. It's hard to find those people, in my opinion. Yeah, I know the feeling as well. Yeah. 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 But that probably push us towards the being even more motivated, right? And not to
Mhm.
give up and
Sure.
just follow our vision. Yeah. Okay. So you were talking about the musical part in your life. So do you feel like you really found yourself in music as well by making music for your own games, or would you like to go back? Really just learning music, not just for games, for example, but for movies and composing music. How do you feel about that? Because when you were talking about this topic of your life, I could tell you that you are a bit sad about it, that it happened like that in your life, which is understandable, of course. But do you feel like you would like to go back? Uh,
No, because I think everything that happens in your life is meant to lead you to somewhere,
okay, okay,
and that's not a direct path toward the game industry that I took, but somehow it led to it led to it
true, true,
in
true.
the end to a point that I wasn't expecting at all. I mean, when
But
I
you
was
wanted
working
to
on
be
it,
there, right? So it worked out for
of
you.
course, of
Yeah,
course, I wanted. So I think where I stand now is even better than what I hoped
I see.
for when I was working on music. Because right now I'm composing music for my games, and even here since April, I'm doing this full time. So not the music, I mean the games.
Yeah, the
But
games. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't compose much music at the moment. But definitely now we are starting a new project, and I have to compose a full original soundtrack for that game, and I'm really excited about it. But I also have to do all the game design, which I love to do, maybe even more than music. I have to drive my two coworkers and drive the direction of the game, and that's even greater than doing music all day, I think. So I definitely don't want to go back to being a composer. I think where I stand now, game director, game designer, composer, and so this kind of mix is a really great thing, and I'm really happy where I am now. Of course, when it happened, I was a bit sad about it, of course, but really happy to where it led me in the end. So I think the bottom line is when you fall, when your project don't work, don't worry, because somehow I'm pretty sure you will learn from that experience, and it will make you bounce even higher.
True. Even if you are willing to, of course. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so and how do you feel? So as from being a game dev yourself and also music composer, how have you changed or in other territories of your life from those experiences, and what skills have you picked up to other territories of your life?
So what I learned developing games that I use in other territories of my life. That's an interesting question. um, I think I learned quite a few things by being the game director on Outcast, because
Okay.
I learned to manage a team,
Okay.
Which was something very new to me actually. I was working alone before that, so I had ready to learn that on the spot, and that's really interesting because the way you have as a game director, the way you have to give feedback to the people working for your project, is something you can use at plenty of times in your life. When asking someone to do something, when trying to say to someone, maybe you should do this, not exactly. It's very good, but you
Being
shouldn't do
polite,
this
right?
exactly like this, maybe. You see, this kind of things. It's not really linked to game developer, but when I was at Apple Studio, that's mainly what I did, because I wasn't developing. I was not a developer. Okay, there is developer in the big
Yeah, I
sense of it,
understand.
and then
Yeah,
you have
it
the
makes sense. Yeah,
coders.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I was working in a game development team, but I was just the game designer and game director. So I didn't really create stuff that went into the game. It was more like giving the direction and telling people what to do, reviewing people's work, and keeping everyone motivated. This kind of thing. It's more game director is more about this, and this was really really helpful for me, even for my family life, even for now working with my two coworkers, and this is really something really really important. But maybe also something I could say is I learned that motivation is really something super important for everything. If you do something with motivation, you will do it good. If you are not motivated to do something, it won't lead to anything good. So at least that's how I see things, and that's also how I want to work with my coworkers. That they, for me, that they are motivated to work is the main thing, the most important thing, I think. And that's why I try to do my best to keep them motivated, even if, of course, doing a game is sometimes not extremely it's not always the funniest stuff. Of course, at times it's really great, and when you finish something, you achieve something, you're really proud and of what you do, to do it, to see it being coming alive, and and that's great. But sometimes you just have to do a task, and it's a bit repetitive, or it's not very funny, and but that's part of the
Yeah,
job.
yeah,
But
true, true.
even if there is this part, it's my main priority to keep everyone motivated in the team.
I see, I see. And during of those times when you were like managing people in a bigger company, how do you feel? How could you describe yourself as a boss of people? Like, which kind of boss you were there? Like, a very friendly
I didn't describe
boss,
me as a
or
I didn't describe me as a boss. The way I presented to people
okay,
is I don't want to be your boss. I'm more like the boss of the project.
okay, okay, okay.
And also, game director wasn't the highest rank at Apple Studio. Of course, there was the Yves Grelet, which was the studio director
I see,
and
I see,
creative director.
I see, I see,
So still, he was above me. So I wasn't the boss.
I see, I
There
see,
was,
I see.
or at least there was a boss above me. So, but yeah, I always presented it to people like I was more the director, the guy giving the direction of the project, more than the boss that that tells
So
everyone.
you were in that strict guy who just very strict with everyone.
Yeah, no. I'm not a strict person, and that's also, I think, one of the philosophy at Appeal is that And that's also something I learned from Yves Grolet, the managing director at Apple, is that he wants everyone to, once again, in the as possible, as much as possible, keep everyone motivated and that everyone feels good at work. And I was really in this mindset while at Apple Studio, is that I don't want people to shout at each other and slam the door and this kind of thing. I really wanted everyone to feel good, and because the game developer life can be stressful at times, because we had milestones very regularly, and sometimes we are late, and you have the publisher, hey, why are you late, blah blah blah. So it was not always extremely simple situations, but as much as possible we wanted to keep everyone feeling good at work and motivated to work.
I see.
And that was my main concern actually as a boss. Okay. We also wanted to make the game good, of course, but that's what I told you earlier about learning how to tell people that, okay, you have to change that, but you don't tell
In a
them,
polite
okay,
way.
that sucks.
Yeah.
You tell them, yeah, it's very good, but,
But
maybe
you
we can
change
make
a
even
little
better.
bit, yeah.
And yeah, that's the boss I try to be, even though I didn't consider myself the boss. And even though now that I have my company, Roblo Games, clearly I'm the boss, because now it's me employing people and there is no one above me. But I still try, to not feel too much bossy, and trying to make everyone feel like, okay, now we're making something together. It's not, I'm making the game for Pablo and I hope he's happy with it. No, we are working together, and all of us want to be proud of what we achieve. That's what I'm trying to come up with my colleagues.
I see. And is it a mindset that is hard to follow, or were you been able to like follow this mindset like every time, every day, every night when you were working with people?
Yeah,
How
to
do you
be
feel
honest,
about that?
I think it's. I don't think I had to learn this, because that's my
Okay.
personality.
Okay.
I never wanted to be the boss of anyone.
Okay. Okay.
It's not my.
But you ended up being a boss of people, right? So
Yeah,
still.
seems so, but my goal was always to be to make games, not to have 10 people before me, below me. I just wanted to make games. That's why I started to make games alone, actually. And yeah, and I find it really funny to do it with other people, because those people are doing a better job at what they are doing than me. So it makes complete sense to work with them to make the game. But in the end, I'm still trying to make the best game I can. And that's my main concern.
I see.
Being the boss is definitely not what I don't care about. I literally really don't care about it.
I love your mindset. It's
So
rare, in my opinion. It's rare that's people in this year and age do not have this mindset as bosses, but you do, and I think it's very important, because being like that, like you now, is really like a second family for those people below you and working for you, right? So
yeah, I hope it is.
yeah.
We try to be like friends, basically.
Yeah,
That's
true,
how I
true,
want
true.
to see it, like friends making something together.
That's
more
what a lot
than
of companies lack, in my opinion, of
maybe.
nowadays. Yeah, yeah.
Also, when you start to have like 10 people in the company, when people start to, there are too many people, so some people
It's
don't like
harder
each
to
other in the
manage.
company.
Yeah.
It's probably harder.
True,
There were
true,
just 3 people, so
true.
it's very small. It's still 3 times more than when I was working alone, but it's still very small. And that's why actually I don't really, I don't want to have a big company. I don't want Roblo Games to have like 10, 20 employees. I think between 3 and 5 is very good. I think that's a good number to keep this cohesion.
True. And I believe that the vision is not shared that much if
Yeah,
there is
maybe.
a small team. I remember myself like when I used to like study at university, and I was learning software programming and coding. We were learning about that it's very easy and very good to have a big team, and I was always against that because I feel like whenever it's like more than two, three or four people, it gets way harder to manage those people,
Mm.
not just manage, but to really like send through the vision from A person to B person
Oh.
to all the people in the room, right? So it becomes this messy thing to be able to like really talk with all the people from day to day when there is a huge project, especially like a game.
Yeah. And also, the more people you have in your team, the more time you have to take to make sure everyone is on the same page,
True, true, true,
to make
true,
sure
true,
communication
true, true,
is
true,
really good
true,
between
true. Yeah,
communication is really
because
good.
at the end of the day, it's not just about making a game, but it's also about their human being life, right? So you
Mm.
can't like not look at those people and say that okay, you have a life, not just in making games but in everyday life as well. Like you go home, I don't know, you watch TV or you play some sport or you are with your friends as well. But yeah, and you also can have problems, of course, or being ill. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to consider each other, especially these days. But yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and at Apple, the team went up to nearly 100 people at some point. So it was really a big team there. And that was sometimes hard to manage. And
True,
that's why now it feels quite easy to me to manage
true,
just
true, true,
just three people.
true,
That's
true. Very true.
that's really
Okay, I will ask a bit again a more personal question. So I believe that all of us creators who create their own craft are willing to put their inner self into the craft they make. So just like you who are making your own games and composing music for your games, do you feel like you put your experiences, memories, or even yourself into your games? How do you feel about that?
definitely.
Okay,
That's something very important to me actually.
okay,
And to go very personal about it actually, uh, I'm a bit obsessed about leaving something from me um, behind when I won't be there anymore. So
okay.
for me, it's a bit it's a bit that I want to do with games. It's leaving something to the people
I see.
that hopefully will last. We don't know, but also yeah, um, from the game design and the music, I really always try to have something personal in my games, and that's why I'm often a bit. Uh, it's a bit problematic for me to talk about my inspirations because I try not to have too much inspirations. My inspirations are more like
Your own experiences?
unconscious, yeah, from
Okay,
what I had in my life. Because I definitely don't want to take a game and copy it and do another game based on this mold of
I
this
see.
game. Definitely, I want to try. That's why I try new stuff. Actually, I try. I don't want to say I managed to do it, but at least I want to try to propose something different from what exists. Because I really want to bring some part of myself into the games, being in the music or in the game design or in the graphical art style. So it's extremely important for me to try to differentiate what I do and yeah, and propose something that maybe only me could do. Maybe I don't know, but at least it's important to me that it's different from other stuff. I'm not doing this for money. Of course, I would like to continue making games, so hopefully it will bring some money. But before anything, I'm doing it for proposing something different and uh, try to get maybe to get know somewhere recognized as a game designer. That's I think that's my very personal motivation that I don't talk about often. But as you ask me the question, let's
I
go
hope
for
you
it.
don't mind it, of course, that I asked
No,
this.
of course not.
Okay, I
Um,
love it. And do you feel like so the main character? of Necro story could be you as well. Like he's very at lookalike as well, and with his like smile on his face is very similar to you. Could it be like you? When I first saw you, I realized that he has very like
You
similar
mean
face to yours. So could
you
it
mean
be the
the
case?
necromancer on the key art?
Sorry.
You mean the necromancer on
Yeah.
the key art of
Yeah.
Necrostory?
Yeah.
Okay, that's that's interesting. That to be honest, no.
Okay.
No, it wasn't planned to be me.
Okay.
I don't recognize myself that much because he's kind of a very bad guy. And I don't consider
He's not a
myself a
bad
bad guy.
guy, in my opinion.
No, you're right. He's not a bad guy.
He's not a bad guy. He's like a childish person who
Yeah,
is trying to
yeah.
be bad, but he's not a bad guy at all.
That's true. That's true. But still, he gives this. He tries at least to give this impression that he's really a bad guy.
Okay.
No, but I don't think. Unless it was very unconscious from me, but I didn't try consciously to make it
Okay.
an alter ego of me.
Okay.
I just try to come up with a
Yeah, but the
funny
smile was
characters.
very similar. That's why I asked. Like, he's always
Okay.
smiling, and you're always smiling too. Then, like, it would make sense. Okay.
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
But yeah, you think the necromancer is always smiling?
Yeah,
You're
he
sure we're
is.
talking about the
He
same game?
is. He is. Like, there's a hidden smile in his face. Like,
Yeah, it
if
depends
you
on
really
the.
look very closely to him and
Uh,
focus on him, yeah, like this childish smile of like making something bad, but it's not bad at all. It's just these childish pricks of him. Yeah.
Yeah, but the ghost also is always smiling. The ghost is completely different from the necromancer. She's really playful and yeah.
She is like the good part in him. We could say like she's trying to motivate him to the good part of his.
That's a good
Spoiler
question.
time.
It's a bit complicated because you see, they are actually a bit the opposite because the necromancer shows like he's really a bad guy,
Okay.
but internally he's not that bad. He's even stuff happened to him, but he's not that bad. Let's say
Okay.
the ghost is very playful, but
she's bad.
maybe she's not also completely.
Okay, I get it now. Okay.
But she's a good girl, but they both have the two sides. Actually, there is not one bad guy and one good guy, even though it seems like so. At first, you think, okay, the necromancer is the bad guy and the ghost is the
No,
good
I
guy.
realized that the
But it's a
necromancer
bit
is
mixed.
probably a good guy. I was just thinking that he has this good inner self because of the lady ghost, like because she's helping him to be good. But then I probably failed with this idea of mine. Yeah. Okay.
I won't tell too much, so I keep surprise for people
Yeah.
playing the
True.
game.
True. And I love that. Okay. And so when you first started like developing Necro story, have you already had the story of this game in your mind, like,
Um,
or is it like more that the art and the gameplay part came first for you before the story?
It's none of the two actually. It's more like for me, it's the setup.
Okay.
How to say that? It's the global ID.
Okay.
Of having
the theme or the setting?
the team. Yeah, the team. The two characters. I think that's one of the first thing I had as an ID. I wanted to make a funny game, so a comedy game about a necromancer that is at least pretends to be really a bad guy, and is in a team with the playful ghost of a white mage that has to drive him, but they are blantering all the time, and that's what I had in mind. So not really. I didn't know yet when I started the project. Okay, it's going to happen this, and this event, and no, after this and this will happen. No, I just had the characters first. And actually, it's funny because it was the same for Healer's Quest. I first came up with all the team of characters,
I see.
and actually, the first thing I did for one of the first thing I did for Healer's Quest before starting the story is to make the key hearts, but really fast on paper. And when I draw this, all the characters, it suddenly connected. And very, very quickly, I could imagine a lot of stories going with all those characters together. And it was a bit the same for Necro's story. When I created the characters, um, everything came alive quite naturally, and I just have to
So you
choose
like played
which
with them, right?
event.
And on the table
Yeah,
and
yeah.
on the
So
paper.
for me, it's really the character and the setup, the world, and maybe the gameplay too. I really wanted to make a game based on the different necromancy spells, but also I wanted to make it so that you can capture your enemies and take them in your team, like in Pokemon. But here it will be the Healer's Quest gameplay. So everyone is fighting real time, and you have to manage what your character is doing in this team while everyone is fighting. And I wanted to go the next step from Healer's Quest, where your allies are forced, they are imposed. You only have 4 allies, and they are always there. Here you can really pick the characters you want in your team, and have some customization in the team, and having this layer in addition to what I propose in Healer's Quest. That was a bit the idea. So for me, first is the character, is the setup, the game design, and the story came naturally from that point.
I see. I see. Okay. And so, as for the monsters that you were talking about, which monster was your favorite to design?
uh, uh, I have I
Or you
have
can
to say
name
that
more,
I
of course, if you want.
what?
Or you can name more, of course, if you want. If you
Yeah,
cannot
yeah, yeah.
pick just one.
The the little lizard. We have no visual, so it's a bit sad. But the little lizard
I will put that
you
in the
find,
edited version.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The little lizards you can find in the castle. It's really cute because before it was there was monsters that feel a bit less cute than others, and that was fine for me. But at some point, I told myself, okay, I want to have a cute character. It's missing in the game. So, and funny thing, before that, I I have a son which is 14 right now, and he had a book. He has a book to learn to draw Pokemons, and for multiple evenings in a while, we were uh, taking this book, and together we were drawing the Pokemons. And I started to draw Pokemons, and I said, "Hey, that will be nice in my game." So I took what I learned while learning to draw Pokemons with my son, and tried to come up with my own characters, but in a bit more in this style. And this character, the lizard, is a bit more Pokemon-y, it's a bit more cute than the other ones. And I really like it. I often have good feedback from people playing the game that, oh, this one is so cute, I want it in my team. And that's amazing because that's exactly what I wanted to happen. And I'd say that is my favorite one.
I see. Okay. Lovely, lovely
But
story. I love that. I love
I,
that.
I have other ones that I like too, but this one is probably my
Okay.
favorite.
Okay. Okay, and so about more of the editions of your game. So are you planning like to release like physical editions of your game? Because it would totally make sense to have like, for example, cards of the monsters that you can collect and to team up with, or like a figurine or a statue of the main characters. Are you planning
Mm.
to do that in the future sometime?
No, I don't plan to do that
Okay.
because physical editions are, of course, costly to make.
Okay.
And currently, we have no idea if the game will work or not. We hope it will sell a lot, but we can be sure of it. So we run the risk of making physical editions and
I
then
see. I see. I
they
see. I
don't
see.
sell, and
True.
we
True.
lose
True.
money on this. So
Understandable. Yeah.
it's a bit risky to do it. Also, yeah, maybe that's not a big concern, but on the environment standpoint, I like the fact that the game is only that we don't produce plastic and this kind of stuff. That's something I try to keep attention on. And personally, I like the fact that it's only digital, so we don't produce stuff, and because download is far less costly for carbon. I don't know the word, but you see what I mean.
Yeah, to pollute the
Yeah.
word. Yeah. Okay.
So that's why we will keep just on the on digital for now at least. Maybe one day we change our mind, but it's not planned.
I see.
And yeah, we don't plan to do a collector edition either. Sorry.
I see. No, I'm a bit sad, but it's okay. It's okay. I
Yeah,
understand your point.
we have so many creators that could be cool to make a collector edition like the Sci for Outcast, but
Yeah, true. Okay.
maybe next time we do that.
Okay. And so, what about the future? Like, what are your plans for the future? Are you planning or ready to make another game after Necro Story?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have many plans. We have too many
Do you have
plans.
like a list of games that you're planning to do?
Yeah, I have a Trello board, literally,
Oh, okay.
where I planned when I wrote all my game ideas for like 5 years,
Oh,
or
okay,
even
that's a
maybe
lot.
more. And yeah, there are hundreds of cards, and of course, I won't have enough with my life to do everything. So I have to be really picky with the ideas I want to do. But the next one is already planned. Actually, it's already partly funded, which is a really great thing because now we are 3 people, so of course I have to pay the people working with me. So we had in Belgium public funding for the pre-production, only the pre-production of our next game. For the rest, we still have to find a publisher or hope that Necrostory works well enough so that we can finance the rest of the project. But for the pre-production, we have the money to work on a new game that I won't really talk too much because it's very secret at the moment. But it will be quite big big project that will lead us to 2026.
Okay.
So, and we
Exclusive
are people
information
working.
here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, will it be like a completely different game from your past games, by the way? Did you say that, or something with the similar
there are some
setting?
similarities. For example, I can say that the graphical style will stay roughly the same because I would like to keep the art direction as a signature art direction, let's say. So that I think already with the 2 games we did up to here, people start to recognize our graphical direction.
True. That's very
direction.
true. Yeah.
So we would like to continue in this style because I think it works well. I often have really good feedback from players about the graphical style, even though I'm not such a great drawer, like I told you earlier. But now that Clémence, my employee, is working with us as an illustrator, the next project will be it will be amazing because she's doing a great job, and she adapted to my graphical style really, really fast. And it will really be great. The graphical direction of the next project will be even better, or better, maybe even better, because it's not my point to say that it's good, but it will be better than Necrostory for the next project.
I cannot wait to see
really,
what you have in store for us. So
yeah,
nice.
And on the side of that, so that is the big project. And on the side of that, I also have smaller projects.
Okay.
And one of them is coming close to not really to an end, but maybe half of the development. Actually, that's a side project that I started in 2015, so nearly 10 years ago already. And by now, it's coming to, it's already fully playable. So my plan is also to work after hours on this, so I keep the dynamic of working on the big project during the day, and maybe working a bit on this side project on the evening, so that it can release maybe in 1 year or something like that.
So it's actually 2 games that you're working on now. Okay, that's nice.
One
that's
big
nice.
and one small.
Nice. Love that. Cannot wait to see those. Okay. Okay, so we talked about a lot, but before I ask some more questions, are you down to answer some questions from my community as well? From the chat?
Let's go.
Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us know if there is any question here is the time you can ask. Let us know. Hölgyek, urak, bármilyen kérdés? Bármilyen kérdés? Oh, actually there are questions. Sorry, I missed those. Oh, okay. So Gergovich is asking that what influenced your art style? Because the monsters and the whole art style of the game looks very nice, and he loves it.
So a first influence is the work of Peyo. So Peyo is the creator of the Smurfs.
Okay.
The creator of the Smurfs.
Okay.
And as you know, I worked there for many years in the studio. So even if I didn't want it, it had an influence on me. And even though the graphical style is very different, I mean, of course, Peyo is working on ink, and I'm working without any stroke, so it's completely different. But in the way the trees, the bushes are represented in the Smurfs, it's really something that I was into for many years, and it influences me
I see.
in all the graphics I did. Also in the way I draw characters, it has a lot of influence. Because the drawing of Peyo is quite simple. When you see, even in black and white, I had those big, the big planches, we call them in French, so the big sheets of drawing, or the original of the Smurfs. Even if you look at them from very far away, you can see everything because it's very clear and very simple. And I wanted to have this in my graphical style. But then instead of doing ink art, I did the opposite. I'm always working with masses of colors, and then I do the lighting of the masses I drawn. So it has the advantage of being quite fast to do, actually, because doing masses, you don't have to do all the contour of what the stroke of what you are doing. You just do the in the middle, and it does a big spread of thing, and then you just have to do the lighting. Because I also worked as a colorist at the Smurfs, as I told you a bit earlier. So working with colors is very important to me. But for the person from your community want to talk about is the plushy aspect of the graphics. For this, I didn't really add a specific inspiration. I wanted to have something warm. That was my main concern. I really didn't want to have 3D graphics or something that could be a bit cold. I want it to be fluffy, to be fluffy with, to make it cute and fluffy in some ways. And I was playing with Photoshop brushes, also seeing my colleagues work with some custom brushes. And simply by experimenting with those brushes, I find something that I really like. And I try to come up with something using those specific brushes in Photoshop. And I like the results, and start trying doing tests first, and afterwards it went up somehow to have the whole game done like this. But I'm really happy with the current graphical style we're using. So
it's lovely, yeah, and it really have this warm style that you mentioned. Like it warms your heart to see it. Yeah,
I try to have that, even if the colors are not always very warm. At least I try to have this fluffy style.
Yeah.
And Lost Spirits of Kael, my very first project that I started in 2012, was actually already using this style. And I tried to, I kept it actually for all the project, and still I'm planning to keep it for the next ones.
It's like your legacy, right?
Yeah.
And now your t-shirt, by the way, I just realized.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the previous key art of Necrostory. It's the previous one, because Clémence redid a new key art, which is much better because she's so amazing with her drawing. And now the nuclear art is much more polished and defined. This is the old one, but
I see.
yeah.
Okay, thank you for the question and answer as well. Okay,
My pleasure.
next
Thank you for asking.
question comes from Gergovich as well. Again, so what was the influence between turn-based gameplay mechanic in your game?
Mhm. Actually, RPG are really type of game I like a lot,
Okay.
especially turn-based. I felt in it when I played Suikoden. It's called. If you don't know if you know it, it was one of the first RPG on the PS1, if I remember well. So that was my first JRPG I played, and
Okay.
it was really a discovery for me because before that I heard a lot of people talking good thing about Final Fantasy VI, but I never played it. So for me, it just felt that's weird. What's that game? I don't want to play that. And I never played Final Fantasy VI when it came out, even though it was rated 95% in all the magazines. Um, but when I tried it, I tried Suikoden the first time, and it was really wow, this is amazing. I can take my time, think about what I'm doing, and going to grind and and there was a nice story also in Suikoden. You could um, gather all the characters in the game. I have 112 characters if I remember correctly. And that was really great, and I liked it a lot. And for years, I played a lot of JRPGs. I played, of course, all the Final Fantasies. I finally did Final Fantasy VI later on, but the 7 was my favorite games for years. The 8, 9, 10, most Final Fantasies, and especially I want to talk about this. Breath of Fire 3 was specifically a game I loved when I was younger, and it's a big inspiration for Necrostory. You see in Breath of Fire 3, I don't know if you played the game, but you could manage the different gems
Okay.
and combine them to
Okay.
transform into a dragon. And that's really something that was amazing in this game. And I also wanted to have some transformation, and that's where the idea from the demon transformation that you have in Necrostory come from.
I see.
There are other influences. For example, I love the master system of Breath of Fire 3, where you could uh, put one of your character to a master, and then he will that will change the how he gains the stats when he leveled up, and also you will gain new skills.
I see. I
Um,
see.
and I literally took this from Breath of Fire 3 and put this in the game in a different way. It's the gems in Necrostory, but it's the same thing. You learn new skills and it's changed the way you gain stats when the character levels up. So definitely RPGs, turn-based RPGs mostly, were really a great kind of game I really liked a lot when I was younger, and even now actually, even though I still like to play those kinds of games from time to time. Recently, I did Sea of Stars, which was amazing. I really had a great time playing Sea of Stars. So, so yeah, it's really a type of game that I enjoy a lot. I don't know if that answers the question or
Yeah,
if
it
I.
did. It did. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It did?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Mine, by the way, was Final Fantasy X from Final Fantasy series. It's like my all-time favorite game.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I think I finished it 2 or 3 times. The 10 was really amazing.
Yeah, I always tell this that a very special story of mine that I always like almost finish it, but I never like make the ending happen because like when I first started playing it, my grandfather passed away, so it's like a very
Oh.
close game to me because of the fact of that uh, like loss of him as well. So yeah, and for me like I love JRPGs too, so I always try to, and I'm always still trying to like play all the JRPGs that are out there. So yeah, those are great games with great story. I like you were also telling us that with those elements when you really can think of like the gameplay side in forward, what to do and to grind out. Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you for the question and the answer as well. Again, thank you. Okay, let us know if there is any more question. Let me see if there was any more question. Bármilyen más kérdés, hölgyek, urak? Any more question? Any more question? I forgot to link here the Steam page of your game, because I linked it on the Discord, but I will link it on the chat as well and highlight it so everyone can see it. Okay. Any more question, ladies and gentlemen? Bármilyen más kérdés, hölgyek, urak? Any more questions that we might have not touched? So before there would be any more questions, so since you appreciate old school era games, what would you say about like the goal of the difficulty setting of your games? Like, how could you describe the difficulty setting of your game? What was the aim for the difficulty setting with your games?
First, I would like to say that Healer's Quest was a hard game.
Okay.
It was probably too hard.
Okay.
I mean, the normal mode, there are 5 difficulty settings in Healer's Quest, so my previous game. But the normal mode was really hard. But it was kind of intended. I'm not sure it was an extremely great idea, but it was intended because what I wanted to do with this game is to show that being just a healer is not something easy. And for that, the game had to be hard. Otherwise, we miss the point of what I wanted to say.
True.
So with that background, I definitely wanted to make Necrostory more like an easier game. I didn't want to go and make the normal mode very hard, because I had quite many people telling me, "Oh, it's very hard, actually." But it's true; it was a hard game. So here, I wanted to have an experience a bit more easy. We still have the 5 difficulty settings. So the normal mode is, I'd say this time it's balanced. It's not extremely easy, but it's not, you don't have to grind for finishing the game. I mean, at least that's my goal. And if you really don't want to, if you're not that much interested in the challenge, you can pick the easy mode or story mode.
I see.
But the normal mode is already quite accessible. And you have the hard mode, and once you finish the game, you have the apocalypse mode, which is really hard. And so what I wanted to do with the difficulty settings in Necrostory is to make it really adaptative to what the player wanted to pick as a difficulty.
I see.
And that's also why we added the hardcore and ultra hardcore mode. So, which is independent of the difficulty level. So you can pick the story mode and pick ultra hardcore if you want, which will be weird, to be honest. But it's possible to do it if somehow you want some challenge but not too much. So yeah, it's possible to say that if you lose, it's over. For people who wanted a lot of challenge for the game, really people looking for challenge, it's there in the game. But that's not the main experience we wanted to have.
I see.
Also, based on my experience with Healer's Quest, at first when Healer's Quest released, I wanted the player choices to be strict.
Okay.
So the player couldn't change the difficulty during gameplay, during the playthrough.
Okay.
Which I think for 2024, it's a mistake to do that. So in Necrostory, you can change the difficulty settings at any point. And also right from the launch of the game, we are proposing custom rules that you can use to adapt, for example, the speed of the different of the souls that you have to catch, and this kind of thing. So really wanted to make something which the player can adapt the difficulty to their needs, to their skills, and to their taste. That's the most important point, I think, to say with the difficulty. So everything that I added afterwards in Healer's Quest, I tried to add it from scratch in Necrostory.
I see. Okay, thank you. Okay, any more questions, by the way? Or Bármilyen más kérdés, hölgyek, urak? Any more questions? By the way, if you would happen to like say an exact message or a message that you would like to give for the players by your games or with your games, sorry, other than you were saying us or telling us that you really want to leave your legacy behind for forever and even more. So what would be that message, for example, with Necro Story, like?
The message of the game. Yeah, it's more like a story of. You mean the message of the game of what I would say to player that want to play the game?
No,
What
not like that, not like that. Like what are the thoughts of the game
Yeah,
that you want to,
the
like, you know, connect with the players by?
it's more like a friendship
Okay,
story actually
okay,
with a friendship, but not so much actually because first I wanted players to have a good time with the game,
okay,
and ideally I wanted them to laugh at it.
okay.
But of course, the story has also all this friendship message. We have also a very very slight ecological message in the game. I won't, yeah, if I won't give too much detail on it because it will spoil a bit. But I wanted to have just a little bit of this because, as I told you already earlier, that's something I really care about.
Yeah.
And I wanted this to also be part of the message of the game, even though it's very subtle. But yeah, it's a story about friendship, about about stupid thing you could do, and about how to fix those things once you. Yeah, um, that's that's mostly about it indeed. For the story of this of the game. So let's say it's that the friendship will come over all the adversities. I don't even know if it's a.
But it happened to you as well, so it's like really your
Yeah.
story, right? So as well. Okay.
And also, I wanted to dedicate this game to, and it's in the credits actually, to my father and my aunt who passed away when I was younger. So necro story is also, the word necro means death, but also for me it's a way to homage. Is that a word in English?
Yeah,
I'm not
it
sure.
is.
To pay homage,
Yeah.
I think, to my father and my aunt, who were important people for me, of course, but sadly were gone too soon. And that's also important for me to dedicate the game to them. For example, Healer's Quest was dedicated to my children, and this time I wanted to do something else.
That's
So
I appreciate your honesty about that, by the way. Thank you for that. And I'm very sorry for your loss. And I love those stories like yours that you are really willing to put your own experiences, memories, and also losses from your past into making games. It's very important. And like I always say, our life happenings are always the best to describe these stories, right? Which we are making games of, or books. Yeah. Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. Okay, what about, should we go into some gameplay? Are you down to that?
Yeah, up to it. Let's do that.
Let's go. Let's go.
So I will start the game.
Okay, let me know if I can connect.
Or do you want to play the game yourself, or do I play
No.
it?
I will just watch. Now I will just watch.
Let's go.
I will.
So I have to share my screen, right?
Yes.
How does it work? It will work on. Yeah, I guess it will. Let's go.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yep, I do. Nice.
I have no idea what the sounds like.
I can add it. Yeah.
Currently,
Yeah, we can hear it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so maybe I don't put it too loud. Is
Okay.
like this okay?
Perfect.
Just tell me if it's too.
No,
too loud.
perfect. Thank you.
So do we show the beginning of the game? No, maybe I'll
It's
go.
up to you. It's up to you. Like I said, it's very up to you.
Okay, I think I will show the beginning of the game, but not the very beginning. So
Okay.
basically, this is the first checkpoint. So in the demo, you can already reach this point and beyond. So give me a sec because my dog is
No, it's
attacking
okay.
me.
It's okay.
Okay. So basically, you are this character. So Jamus, the Necromancer, is a save point. So here I heal my team. I have a very small team, by the way, just the beginning of the game. So it's just currently me, Vivi, the ghost, and the very first character that I catch. I can make I can name my character. Let's go.
Oh, you can also
My
name it.
friend.
Nice.
Yeah, you can name all, not those two main characters.
Okay.
I mean the character you can name your character like character creation. You cannot rename Vivi, but you can rename all the characters.
Okay.
So this is very RPG-y actually with
Yeah.
all the statistics you see of the different characters.
By the way, are your
So-
dog made into the game as well, like an Easter egg or like a character? I wanted to ask that.
Yes, my dog you mean?
Yeah, your dog.
Yes, he's doing the voice of some
Oh,
of the
nice.
of some of the characters.
Nice,
Because
love it.
We have like a wolf enemy and
Okay.
a dog-like boss, and
Okay.
he's voice acting both of them.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Love that, love that.
And if you look at the last trailer for the game, he's also doing the voice of Wolfie that we can hear at the
nice.
very beginning.
Okay.
So yes, even my dog is in the
Nice,
the
love
game.
it, love it, love it.
Infection.
So this is a combat. So as you can see, everyone is fighting. Here I'm not doing anything. So everyone is fighting, and I'm just this character here. I have to catch the souls that are trying to escape.
Okay.
It's the beginning, so it's really easy. They are very slow at the moment, but they will go faster later on. So I can summon skeletons by selecting the spells I want to cast. Infection is a poison spell, for example, so I will cast it on this guy. And every time a character dies, you can see its soul trying to go away, and you have to try to catch it, because if you catch the soul, you will gain extra XP, you will gain extra mana, and most importantly, you will start filling up this soul vessel, it's called,
Okay.
here.
Infection.
That will allow you to capture creatures. And this is the lizard I was talking about
Oh, okay.
earlier in the interview.
Nice.
So now I will catch it, and you will see here that the soul vessel will slightly fill.
Okay.
And when it will be filled up, I will be able to drag my soul on it and capture the creature, which
Oh, okay,
I just
okay,
captured.
okay,
the soul.
okay.
So you cannot, if you face 6 creatures, you cannot capture the 6. You have first to fill up this soul vessel,
Okay.
and then you can catch the creature. And actually, I think this soul management is one of the most important aspects, and maybe even of the most interesting aspect of the game, because it really dynamizes the combat, you know. Because otherwise, at some points, it could be a bit
Infection.
slow, but on purpose, I mean, because I wanted to have it a more relaxed experience than Healer's Quest, which was very frantic.
Mortel.
But thanks to the soul system, you have to pay attention at all points to the life of your enemies and try to
Infection.
pay attention to their current life. And as you can see here, they were charging an attack, and here too you have to react to it. When they are charging an attack, you will see a blue part like this in his life.
I see.
And if you manage to empty the blue part, the character will cancel its charge attack. So it's very important to try to do that. No, I'm explaining a lot and I'm not fighting much, so I'm nearly dead. So I will try to not
Will
die.
you be able
immediately.
to capture all the creatures in the game, by the way?
Infection.
Yes, but I know where they are and I will know how to capture them. So
Oh, not now,
Me
not now.
personally,
I meant to ask, like, in general, like, are
Ah.
the
yeah,
players
sorry.
being able to, like, capture all the characters or creatures throughout the game?
yes, except the bosses.
Okay.
So
okay,
the bosses, you cannot capture them,
Okay.
but all the other characters, you can capture them.
I see.
So here I will heal myself. I don't have enough resources. So, but I catch a new one. So
Oh, nice,
here's
nice,
the list
nice.
of your characters, and there is no limit of the amount of characters you can have. So you just will have more pages when you have more characters, and you can just drag and drop them inside the game and
Love
choose
it,
where
love
you.
it, love it.
how
And the
you
music
want
is
to
also
use-
beautiful. Like, I love it too.
Thank you. You know it's important to me, right?
Yeah,
The music.
yeah. I can hear that and I can feel that. Yeah.
For me, in this type of game, especially the combat music is really important.
True.
I try to make it the best I could do. And yeah, from time to time, you will have the story coming up to you.
I see.
And most of the time, it's, yeah. At least I try to make it funny. So as you can see, it's a lot of banter between the different characters. Crash those. So on the story standpoint, when the game starts, you are the last human alive on Earth, and that's what the ghost told you. And you have to discover what happened, and with the ghost, try to fix the situation and do something about it.
I see.
Victory!
Love it.
So I don't know how much time you want me to to go. Do we go to the boss or not? Maybe
We can try if you want. We can
Yeah.
do that.
It's just there. I think it's the last encounter before.
Those lizards are so
don't see-
cute. Oh my god.
Infection! Skeletos!
So here I just have 3 spells, but in the full game we have up to 20, even 21 spells.
Okay.
So yeah, there will be a lot of spells. Each spell will have its own skill tree. So
There's-
really a lot of customization. Actually, customization is really important in the game of making. At least I try to give a lot of customization options for the player, because I think that's a very fun part of the game to be able to customize its experience.
There's always like 3 active skills during the battles, right?
No, that's just at the beginning of the game, because currently
okay.
I'm level 3, so I have 3 skills.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
you will very soon have 4, then 5, and at the end of the game you even have 6.
Oh, okay.
So you can, you have much more combination that becomes possible when you advance in the game. Ooh, who's that?
Secrets.
And this is the boss, so I'll try to beat it. I think I
nice.
can do it. This is the first mid-boss, let's say, you will fight in the game. It's already in the demo, so currently I'm not spoiling anything. By the way, the demo is available on the Steam page, so feel free to play it if you want, and you can also add the game to your wish list.
True. Marketing time.
Infection!
Yeah, as the game will release actually next week. It's releasing on Monday, the 7th of October. So it's really soon.
Infection!
So my skeleton army is doing a good job. Okay, I talk too much.
No.
Infection!
I mean, the moment I say they are doing a good job, they both died. Okay, let's focus on the small ones first.
Skeletos!
And when you're out of mana, for example here, I don't have mana anymore, I
Okay.
can do the melee attack, which will release mana fragments, and I can capture them.
Oh, I see.
Which try to get the souls, and this gives me more mana. Also, when you catch a soul, it will give you mana.
Morte. Skeletos. Infection.
That should do it.
Morte.
And by the way, fun fact, I'm voicing the main character, and my wife is voicing the female version of the main character.
Victory.
So it's a family work also in this type.
Nice.
So yes, here you have the inventory. So I can give, for example, this cat the ring of strength, and here are all the skill trees. We won't go into too much details, but as you can see, we have plenty of upgrades.
Okay.
So you can decide to upgrade the spells in many different ways.
Will you be able to max out like all the trees? If you like level up to
No,
the max?
that would require too many
Right.
skill points.
Okay.
So maxing up all the trees is not possible, but you
Okay.
can max out maybe 3 or 4 if you focus on those spells.
I see.
So you have to be picky with what you choose to upgrade, but you can reset the skill points easily here from the. It costs resources, but you can do it from any point.
I see. Okay.
That's also something I learned from Healer's Quest, because in Healer's Quest, it was possible to do it, but it was very expensive, and you can only do it at one point of the game. So here we choose to give more customization options to the player, and they can reset the skill tree for a cheap price.
I
It's
see.
not free, but it's cheap at any point.
I see.
Well, I
Thank
think
you.
that's about it.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
And yeah, once you're there, we have the world map. But we won't go past this part, I think. I'll leave the surprise to the
Okay.
the
Thank
viewers
you.
if you want
Thank
to
you.
discover more.
Thank you. Nice. And I love the fact that, like you told us before, that it really has like a very happy vibe throughout the whole game. Not just the gameplay and the story, but the music as well throughout these boss fights. I love that. Okay, thank you for the showcase of your game. Thank you, appreciate that. Okay,
Thank you for having me, for allowing me to show it.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you, my friend. Okay, we discussed a lot of topics here, but is there anything that we might not touch today, and you would like to talk about?
Not especially.
Okay.
Just wanted to thank everyone for watching, for hearing me, for listening to me, and thank you, most importantly, for having me in this interview.
Thank you, my friend.
If I can say one thing to people, would be to make things. I think that's a message I want to say to the people watching, that yeah, we live a wonderful time where everything is available very easily on the internet. It's very easy to learn things. It doesn't have to be video games, it can be anything, but I think we have to a certain extent, take some of our time to try to make our dreams come true, learn things and do things, trying to, if people want to break into the game industry, for example, it's not easy, but nowadays it's definitely possible to do it by watching tutorials about Unity, about drawing or anything. So it's really exciting times, and I think it's important that we try to do things in the life, not just watching what the others are doing.
True.
So maybe
True.
that's a message I like to share.
Thank you for that. Yeah, and it's
You're
very
very
true that
welcome.
people really have to keep up their work and not give up, like you never did, right? And you had success, so it's like it's important to have these stories around them, to know these stories and really rely on these stories as well, that people are not giving up, and at some point of their life they will be there when they want it to be. Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, like I said, I'm very thankful and very honored that you were here with us today. I will need some more of your minutes, but for those who are watching us, thank you for that you were
Thank you, everyone.
here. And yeah, don't forget to wishlist the game, try out the demo, and let us know how you liked it. And yeah, for those who will be watching this streamed version of our interview, or will be watching the edited version of the video interview, thank you everyone for being here with us, and have a great day or night depending where you live. Thank you. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.